It's on my list.
Welcome back, session 31. We have just escaped the Masquerade Heist Part 2 by the skin of your teeth. You guys attacked and killed about 4 or 5 people on the upstairs. Waldo and Olivax made summonings of birds and bears and
Animal
put
bombs.
fireworks in their mouths and had them run across the room and make explosions. Tink and Wink then, after getting the scroll, went out the window via teleportation. Enzo and Thadon went downstairs disguised as bugbears working for House Cleverly, and Olivax and Waldo just walked out the front door, grabbing their gift bags on their way out. Everyone met basically on the streets leaving, except for Thadon, who kind of had to wait a little bit as he was searching. He cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter twice and was able to get the bugbear he was partnered with to search to fall prone, to which he booked it as fast as bugberry possible, put on his disguise. You guys left the gates and are heading towards the Lady of Masks to give her the Black Iron Pact, which is in this sheath. Anything you guys wanted to add that I forgot?
We also took the heads of one less of the people that we killed.
Yes, at least one was sawed off by Tink.
Yeah, I think only our last kill upstairs got to keep her head.
I have 2 heads.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool. All right, so you guys head through the hustle and bustle of the night. Parties about on every section, low and high, of different magnitudes. You rush all the way through down the main street, breaking off, going down these crossroads to throw off any scent of trail if anyone potentially would be following you. You make it all the way back to the outskirts of town where the Lady of Masks, you guys met her, where the Moonlit Masquerade Company is found. And you're able to meet up with her, the Lady of Masks. She is still in her gown from the night and asks if you have come back successfully.
If you defined success by that we got it, then I'm gonna pull out the sheath and just peek it open to show the thing inside, and then close it again to make sure no scrying or whatever follows it. We'll just be like, we got it.
And I'm gonna ask her, is it pronounced success? Because I thought it was sexcess, like I just had sex.
Wow.
And I'm
Let me roll psychic damage for myself real
I'm
quick.
dead serious.
She will chuckle and she looks a little panics, and she will say, "It's whatever you want it to be. Please follow me." And she will walk outside her tent with you guys where you met her before. And she's just walking through grass. There's no road. Basically, she's walking into the wilderness. And she stops for 2 seconds. And before you appears a 20 by 20 foot stone tower out of nothing. And she says, as she touches the side of it, it unfurls like a fan, and you just see a entryway into a room, and she walks inside and she asks you to follow her inside. As you walk inside, the inside of this room is much bigger than it looked from the outside. It's much taller, longer. There's stairs that go down, and all of this wasn't here a second ago.
I'm gonna look around because I remember the what's that dude's tent that we went into? The
Fortune teller's tent.
fortune teller's tent had the same effect. Does she have any sigils around like he did around his doors?
Make a perception check as you enter.
Whoa. Ooh, let's just say it's a 21.
21. You don't see any sigils on the outside,
Interesting.
but
Okay.
you get the impression that this is some sort of like this is not the same thing.
Okay.
Like this is
Say no
like
more.
whatever the fortune teller was using was not as profound as whatever this is.
Okay.
And then you recall that she is a master of transmutation magic, so you assume it has something to do with that.
Yeah.
You guys enter, there's like this foyer inside that has paintings of all different people and balls and like shows of them, of the masquerade ball. They have like these moon masks that are like iconic to this group as the blue tiefling leads you in. She then like snaps her finger and these almost like rabbit looking people bring up these chairs for you to sit on, and they leave. So she sits down and she asks for the scroll.
Who has it?
Wink has the scroll.
Oh yeah, Wink has it.
I guess the question is just, do you give her the scroll?
Before we give her the scroll, I want to ask her if we can. She was gonna give us like whoever it is the names of some people we were gonna kill. But I want to ask for a favor because there is one specific person at that party we want to know more about.
Okay.
You mean two people?
She will say, she like sits back, like with her hands there, like catching herself being impatient. And she will say, of course, we had ourselves a deal. If you're willing to add to this, I am totally fine with that. If I have knowledge of them, I will give you everything I have. If they are not one of the 4 lieutenants, I might not have as much, as that is where all of my resources have been dedicated over this last 10 days. But I will do what I can. Who are the names of other people at the party that you would like to know more about?
Do we know his name?
I don't think so.
He was very unique. He was wasn't he like a frog person? Yeah, he was like a toad frog person.
He was at the
Yeah.
party.
The one that looks like Kermit.
Yes, you did mention to me that he was the one whose voice came up on the stones.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that
him.
confirmed my suspicions of who he is. He is one of the lieutenants. I will give you all the information I have on the Curator.
Yeah, excellent.
He's the curator?
It is the Curator, yes.
Do you know his name?
I don't believe it is a he. I
Their
believe
name?
it is an it.
It.
It is both a he and a she.
You know its
frog
name?
We won't talk
DNA.
about the anatomy of a frog, but just know that it is both.
Yeah, I saw a play. It involved giant lizard-like creatures that kind of did something like that, and they evolved frogs too. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yes. Yes. Was there anyone else that you wanted to know more about? I do apologize if this becomes a very lengthy discussion on all the different lieutenants. But yeah.
What about man, what's the name of that dragon's name? Asha?
Oshi?
Oshi.
Oshi the Wild. She is also one of the other lieutenants. I'll have more information for you.
I knew it.
So if, I might check to make sure that the scroll is intact. May I see it?
Spencer, would you like to, or sorry, Wink, would you like to hand it over?
Yes, of course. Here's the scroll.
She'll grab it and untwist the cap and pull out the jet black scroll that seems to morph the reality around it as if it is giving off a mirage of like heat and distortion. And she will unfurl it and say, "Did you want to know what's on this?"
I'm gonna cast detect magic on it.
Okay, you get many different schools of magic on this. Basically,
Yes.
every school of magic.
Interesting.
We would love to hear what's on there.
Any shadow
Okay.
magic? Can I even pick that up?
You can't pick up shadow magic with detect magic.
Okay.
She will say that this scroll, she'll say everything she knows about the scroll, which is this scroll cannot be altered. If you copy text from this, it must also be magically bound to it, or else it can be altered as well. She'll have more time to inspect this, but that is the little that she knows about the essence of the scroll. As far as the paper that it comes from, she believes that maybe it was forged by some devil or demon forger and combined with like ink from the realm of law, and this encompassing otherworldly realms such as the Fae, the Shadowfell, and other realms is what makes this thing so powerful. There's probably only 2 or 3 of these ever created.
So you're
Wait,
saying
what?
you can't even write down the wording, or it wouldn't work?
We are welcome to test if you'd like. She'll pull out a piece of parchment and she will start writing down.
Is she
But-
writing in common?
Yeah, she's just copying what it says on there. When you look at the text, it looks whatever language you natively speak.
Okay. But what if we write it in oh, so it doesn't matter what language you
It
write it
doesn't
in.
matter what language you write it in.
Got it.
There are extra little figleries on the letters that don't seem to make sense, but when she copies it, she adds it, and then she waits like 5 minutes as she like continues discussing things with you, and the text letters change as if it's like being encrypted.
Hey,
Um,
Changes to
Jake,
like
how
symbol.
long do your little rocks last?
I was just gonna do the same thing. So one of my abilities is I can like it says make a static visual effect, including up to 25 words of text. I wanna make pretty much a picture of the 25 words
Okay.
of 25 words to see if it does the same thing.
All right, for sure. So you cast it before you even before the image even like fades, you see the characters changing on the image that you've created via
Okay.
magic.
That's good magic.
Are we able to take notes or shorthand or anything, or everything that we try to do with everything disappears?
The notes you will take will be in your memory.
Okay.
She will then read the Black Iron Pact. I will not read it for the sake of brevity. I did post it on the Discord. It is fairly lengthy. There's 6 different parts. They're like epistles, basically, and there's 6. Each one is like stating the purpose of the intent of the pact, like what the pact is, and then it has a quote that Ragnar has spoken, and it has been documented of like the goal of the Black Iron Pact. Let me see if I can just pull it up to give you like the highlights.
Yeah, one of my questions would be, why does she think so much effort has been put onto a simple, essentially legal document? If you can't alter it, like, why do you think so much effort has been put into it?
She will say, because the world as we know it is about to shift. I have spoken to Droll about this briefly, as he is beneath me as far as our chain of commands. But yeah, so the first one basically is to there's 6 different parts. The first part is to everyone. It basically says that in subsequent years, Ragnar is going. I'll just read the quote. It says, "By Ragnar's design, humankind shall be unshackled from the manipulations of deities." So this is the part about like getting rid of the gods and all churches and things like that. The second part says, "By Ragnar's design, humanity shall flourish in his envisioned dominion." And this is basically telling all of the leaders that they are no longer under their purview and that Ragnar is the ruler. The third one is to the Warforged orcs and Leonins. And this basically says that they can continue worshiping their gods in exchange to be slavers for him. The fourth one.
There also one more thing on that one is it says that they will always be subordinate
Yes, he does say that.
command.
By Ragnar's design, the Warforged orc and Leonin shall understand their subordinate position firmly below the heights of man. The fourth part is sent to the elves, basically saying, you shall be beneath mankind as well. Stay in your hole in Arendor and don't come out ever again. All other lands are mine.
Is that a literal hole? Like in
No.
Dark Ale? Okay.
No. They live in a forest land, the woodland realm.
Okay.
The fifth one is by Ragnar's design, the granted freedom shall be respected, monitored by his invisible legion with its black ironclad hand. This is basically saying that there's no more forces given by the government. You don't need armies. All protection will be from Ragnar. The last one is disbanding all military forces, and everything falls under his jurisdiction. By Ragnar's divine, individuals shall wield their blades in personal causes, not in service to any realm or barony. So you have the right to fight for yourselves. You don't need anyone else to tell you what to do.
Another thing on that one is they specifically mention Vlora.
That's the country. That's the name of the world.
Oh, okay. I thought. Oh, that's right.
It's the name of the continent you're on, is Vloroa.
And it talks about them putting spies out for him to keep an eye
Correct.
on everything.
Which you guys have heard about as well. Like, you never know who's watching for Ragnar. That's why people like tell you to hush hush when you're talking about other gods, because you never know who's listening. That's basically what's on the Black Iron Pact. If you want to read more, it's all posted.
I'm a little confused because Ragnar is wiping out all religion, and he's saying he wants mankind to be unshackled from the manipulations of deities. But isn't he building up other temples?
He has proclaimed himself a god.
Yeah, he's basically making himself the deity. He's basically the god, sending forth his angels to protect everybody.
Some other things she'll mention as like Ragnar has more titles than what you know him as. He is also Ragnar the Invincible is just one of his names. He's also known as the Iron Saints, the First Pope King, Captain of the Githyanki Legion, Commander of the Hawk Lords, Overlord of Loroa. Those are all things that he's said. So if you hear those titles, I'll remind you of who they're talking about. But yeah, anyways, that's everything about Ragnar. She does say that you guys have expressed interest in breaking the chain. And she will say, let me go back to my other notes real quick, because she's going to tell you the difference. She's going to say that the chain of Orokeph and Ragnar are not the same thing, and they're not even close to the same thing. These are two separate entities.
Isn't isn't this document from the chain?
The chain of Orokeph is not related in any way to the invincible power rising from the south. The chain is their own massive organization, one that has been established before this Iron Saint was forged. The chain of Orokeph is an organization that many members are allied together for many reasons. Think of like a citizen being part of the government. Like Ragnar is his own thing, and he's using the chain. Like you guys have met the chain, she'll say. Most of them are really good. Like everyone in the chain is super efficient, skilled, things like that. Most lords and ladies in the realm hire the chain in some capacity.
Is the chain independent or is it
Yes.
like a
The chain
privately owned?
It's this privately owned independent entity. It's like special forces. They have a lot of different branches, which I'll repeat here. They have like armies that you can hire. They have like guards, like services. They have Laranya Rich. They have other businesses and things like that. So this is a massive organization. So the orcs being a part of the chain was way before Ragnar ever came to be. So the orcs having split loyalties is something new. Yes? Any questions on this difference between the two?
Like 1,000.
Okay.
One is I'm entirely confused. I understand that they are two separate entities. One is more of a mercenary group, but they seem to be so incredibly powerful and widespread. Why would they is Ragnar such a big strength, if you will, that they will do his bidding, or do they just see him as an opportunity to gain more power?
Ragnar is the Count of Jarnet, which is a city. So he's the Duke of Jarnet. He goes by Count, but he's the Duke. So he oversees the city, which oversees other smaller cities in the south of this country. The entire country uses this private service, private companies for like hiring armies and things like that because they're disposable and it's easier to keep track of those things. So they don't have to worry about the training, the maintenance, all of that is done by the chain. So there's like all the food network and all of that. No one has to deal with that stuff. You just hire them and they have their rate. So it is not uncommon to hear that Ragnar has used the chain to protect some of his assets.
So basically Ragnar's the government and the chain is a private business that he uses and others use.
Correct.
For their own purposes.
Most people use, but they are separate. They have their own goals.
And they have fingers in many, many things.
Correct. So it may
Okay.
appear they don't play
Ragnar.
sides. A good person can hire the chain, a bad person can hire the chain. They just want their coin. That's all they care about.
How can Ragnar afford to hire so many people from the chain? How is he so? I understand he's a duke, but how is he so wealthy?
He is the duke of a very wealthy part of this nation.
Yeah, but he's taking over all the other.
He doesn't have the force to enforce most of the claims that he's made thus far, but he is getting there, and we don't know how. That is what me and my order have been looking into and are trying to understand.
Okay.
But this is a newer thing, and it is a very secret. So a lot of his deals are also made in secret. So it's trying to uncover rock with a brush.
Are there any other mercenary groups that are against the chain?
Not that exist.
Okay.
Is the whole goal of the chain just to make money? Do they have like actual end goals? Because I mean, at least from where I'm standing from outside the game, it sounds like they've made themselves an incredibly powerful force by basically over the years making people rely on them as just a thing of convenience. I feel like that's like a huge possible power play they have in their back pocket to play if they have any
This
kind of
is,
goals.
Well, hopefully, with the information I provide you, this is something that you guys can learn. They have not been intrusive to what my goals are, so I do not bother trying to wipe them out. But again, they are a wild card as they can be. It seems that they can be easily swayed, and they're connected to many different points.
You
all
know
which
who runs the chain?
I'm about to tell you the 4 lieutenants that run the chain. Yes,
Oh, okay.
Are they the
The
four?
chain of
top-
Orokeph.
chain of Orokeph.
Do
Yes,
you know the like the complete structure of the chain?
I will tell you everything I know right now.
All right, hit me.
All right, cool beans. Here we go. I apologize, Chad, for all the lore. I know you don't like these types of sessions. The first one, I will go in the order of power. You have the Curator. He is the frog person. I believe him to be a devil or fiend. I don't know much else as far as his origin. Its origin. It is the owner of Laranya Rich. They oversee other businesses. I don't know which. I'm not able to locate them, but I know that Laranya Rich is just a portion of its responsibility. I believe it works for one of the archdevils directly. I don't know which one.
What?
The Curator is the most powerful of all the lieutenants, both politically and magically. There are 6 main leaders of Laranya Rich that I've been able to locate. And actually, there's 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. And they call themselves the Ivory Jacks. They're all indicated because they wear a ivory colored, white colored ring on their pinkies, and they each have a suit on their rings, which indicate their role in the Ivory Jack organization.
Do you know if the Curator is always in the form of a frog? Whatever that race is called?
I do
Okay.
not.
And you think it's a devil?
I am quite certain that it is a devil. It might be a fiend of neither devil or demon origin, but I believe that it's a devil and it works for an archdevil directly.
Is he part of the Ivory Jacks or are they underneath
Yes.
the Curator? Okay.
And you guys remember that you saw the ring and it had all the suits on it?
Yes.
All the Ivory Jacks are very formal, yet they're very bullish and aggressive, and they dress a lot like you. And she'll look at Thadon, like they wear a very formal dress attire. Think of like the mafia. I will post the names of the people in the. She has the names of all the other people underneath the Curator as well as the race. So I'll post that in the Discord for those that want it.
So I'm gonna ask this again. The Curator, is he the leader of the Ivory Jacks or just part of the group since he had all of the symbols?
The Curator is the owner of Laranya Rich. And the upper level of the Laranya Rich are called the Ivory Jacks.
Okay. And he is one of them.
Yes.
Okay. Why does do you know why he has all the symbols on his ring and the other people only, do they all have the same symbols or do they only have one?
You've seen the bugbears, and he
Yeah.
has a spade. He had a spade on his ring.
So why does he just have a spade and the Curator has all 4?
Because the Curator is all of them.
He's the leader.
He's the leader.
Yeah, the spade's probably the
Everyone else
muscle.
has one job, one role. So they only have one symbol. She doesn't know what the symbols mean.
That was my next question.
So that is the
Yeah.
Curator.
They all
That
have
is
like
all.
Italian names, huh?
That's Yeah, they're all Italian names. Vittorio Bianchi, Sofia Ricci, Marco
really-
Rossi.
Really leaning into that that mafia thing.
Yep. Yeah. Anyways, the second person, she'll also say that there might be more than 4 lieutenants, but these are the 4 that she is certain about. There might be 1 more, 2 more, she believes. The
5?
second one's name is Drasippo. He is a stout black dwarf with black hair. He is the mastermind and leader of the organization. As far as strategy, he travels all the time. He's never in one place. He is a master tactician and negotiator. And the most notable thing that she was able to learn about Drasippo is that about a year or so ago, he purchased a demiplane from an auction friend of hers for an enormous amount of gold.
Hey, what is that?
He purchased a demiplane.
A demiplane.
Do we know
If you
what
know what
that
the
is?
if you know what the curse of Strahd is, his little area of Barovia inside of the Shadowfell, that is a demiplane.
She will also mention that he's from Labelle, but he's never here. So if you're wanting to break the chain, she'll say probably these 2 are not the ones that you should try to start. Then she'll say the next one, his name is Jawbreaker Govok. You guys have heard of this guy. He's the commander of all the armies. All of them. And he also travels all the time. He goes from Labelle to Brinteril outside. Brinteril, country the city to the north. He goes to Drebar, and then he also goes across the mountains to the Curva country. So he's all over the place.
What race is he?
He is an orc.
You said he was in charge of all the armies. You mean literally in the whole country?
He's in charge of all of the
Or the
he's in charge of
mercenary
all the
armies.
chain of Orokeph armies.
Okay.
He's a bad A.
Yep, that's all she knows about him. She'll say that she will say that he has a like place like where he stays often is in that fort. Mother dang it! Hold on one second.
This is
Fort Haggle.
Isabel.
Fort Haggle. You guys heard of this name, Fort Haggle, way back on like the second session when you asked about the animal being kidnapped, where they were taking it, and is like, oh, Fort Haggle, which is on the border of Curva and the realm where you are now.
Fort Haggle? Like
Fort Haggle.
Is that a city?
No, it's a
Like a military installation type thing?
it's a fort. It's just a fort.
haggle as in like I'm gonna get a better price.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And then lastly, Oshi the Wild is the last one. She'll say she also goes by the Trainer of Corruption. She is a white half dragon. She is not a dragonborn. She's a half dragon. And she works with animals. And she works in tandem with many of the Ivory Jacks, at least 2 that she knows of for certain. The Quartermaster and the Assassin she works with. She doesn't know why she works with them, but she knows she works with those 2.
Do you know of any weaknesses she has?
She will tell you that she is very cunning, but that she is very impatient. She's always searching for magic items / artifacts. And she will tell you that Oshi the Wild has established a secret hideout for her and her followers in an abandoned zoo on the outskirts of the city somewhere. She doesn't know where. She would assume near where she is right now, but it's like really overgrown. Think like Jurassic Park. So it's like really hard to navigate and
That's freaking dope.
find where she is exactly.
This is like-
Assassin, what was the other one? Assassin and what?
The quartermaster.
It's all on the Discord.
He's asking which one she works with.
Oh, yes, sorry.
yeah,
What's in the
quartermaster.
Discord? These people aren't in the Discord.
I did post the names of yes, I did. I did post the names of those people in the Discord, but anyways.
So
It's not important that it's not important that you memorize those names or anything like that. Obviously, I will remind you if it ever becomes relevant, so don't feel like you have to memorize all this information because you don't.
Yeah, so the names you posted were for Laranya Rish. They're
Correct.
the 5 leaders, and then the 3 that you just mentioned were for like the chain of Orokeph, right?
Correct. So,
Drasippo, Jawbreaker Govok, and Oshi the Wild.
in the curator.
And the curator is okay, so he's
Four
also in that group.
Yeah, 4 lieutenants. There might be another one, but those are the ones that she knows of that make up their organization.
Well, it makes sense to have another one because one of them has all 4 symbols on their ring. So there should be 4 lieutenants.
You're referring to the
Ivory Jacks.
Yeah, you're referring to the Ivory Jacks. So the Ivory Jacks is like a subsection of Laranya Rich. It's the Ivory Jacks, contrary to what the guards told you. I forgot who told you, but like the Ivory Jacks is part of Laranya Rich. It's not part of the chain. I mean, it is part of the chain, but it's like encompassed in its own little
Got
thing.
it.
You said
So
there's
the
5
enforcer, the
owners?
scribe, the quartermaster, the assassin, the forger are
Correct. They all work under the curator.
gotcha.
Question. Underneath these lieutenants, what is the structure of the chain? We've been having a really hard time figuring out positions within the chain.
So she doesn't know the answer to that. She will tell you that the curator so if she had to like paint out a structure of the chain, she would say you have the money bringers, whatever's bringing in money to fund the chain. She's going to say that is the curator's job. He is in charge of bringing in the money and like being friends with politicians. That is his slice of the pie. Then you have the person who's doing all the planning and all the strategy. That goes to Drasippo. That is his job, is all the planning. Then you have the person actually doing the fighting. That would be Jawbreaker Govok's role. And then you have the person doing all these miscellaneous tasks. Like it looks like she deals with animals and magic items. So that is what her purview is. As you guys start looking into these people, you will get more. I have more information to give you once you get to those thresholds. But this is what she knows about them.
Why does the chain matter if they're just cell swords? Why are we going through all this work to eliminate one of them if they're just cell swords?
Are you asking the Lady of Masks?
Yeah.
She will say that the chain may seem stable now, but with the current political climate, it will not be so. They will be swayed.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
They will be swayed. They will break. And these different links, as for painting this picture of the chain, all of these different links, when it all breaks apart, will be their loyalties will be swayed to something else.
2 questions. If you were to go after one of them, who would you choose?
The weakest is Oshi. She's the most unpredictable of the 4, but as far as my evaluation of her magical prowess and abilities, she is by far the weakest.
Okay.
Also, Jawbreaker Govok and Drasippo are rarely in town, so if you're trying to kill them, locating them would be half the battle, as well as they have magical means of traveling.
Do you know where they are right now?
And he is the most established. but again, it is the most powerful.
Do you keep tabs on the locations of the other two? Do you try
Of
to?
No, I don't. I don't have their schedules or anything like that. I
Okay.
will be eventually obtaining it since I've been looking into this and since I've been helping you guys with your mission to break one of these. I am partially going to be responsible for the aftermath that ensues once this happens, so I need to be prepared.
One more question right now. Wink, you want to hand her the list of that we found of the animals that they've been collecting and so we could try to find out if maybe she knows why or what they're trying to do.
Oshi is trying
Yes.
to gather these. We don't know if it's the lieutenants or just Oshi. Because she likes to.
Yes. What I was able to gather is that these, trying to find my notes on that, but this collection that they're attempting to put together seems to be towards summoning something great and terrible. I thought you might be interested in taking a look at them. I think we actually spoke about them briefly, but I wondered if you had any more information or thoughts regarding these.
She doesn't give you anything that you don't already know. She will just say that, yeah, this looks to be demon related. She wonders potentially if Oshi is connected to demons in some fashion. That's where she gets her power from, or maybe she serves a demon or something. It would fit the name, Trainer of Corruption. So
Anything on the list on the bottom there that they haven't procured yet? Is there anything that you know have access to that we can maybe get to it first?
Vrock is the only one left.
Vrocks are not common. You could maybe try to locate a Vrock magically and see where that brings you.
Would you have access to that?
Do I have access to Yes, I am able to cast that spell, if that's what you're asking.
Would they have access to it as well?
Would Oshi have access to that scroll? Or that spell?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Oshi works with House Cleverly, who are excellent hunters, and they have ways of magically tracking animals. They're excellent hunters. Any other questions on the chain of Orokeph? If not, this would be all that she has for you as far as
If
getting
we have
you-
any more questions that come up, are we able to reach you still?
the less amount of contact, the better. But if you need to come talk to me, yeah, just send a representative.
Are there
Not all of you came.
Are there any inspectors or what is that word I'm thinking of?
Investigators?
Investigators. What's that dude on that Blade book, Bo? Crap. What is the name of that book? Ryan, you also know this.
The blade
Blade
itself?
itself?
Blade itself, the guy who has a
Procta?
limp. Yeah,
Nine
Proctor.
fingers?
What's his position again? Inquisitor. Are there any sort of inquisitors for the chain? Like a security force that everyone's afraid of?
Yes, the assassin.
The assassin? Is that the
think
name of the
so, huh?
The
group?
assassin would be, they don't have a formal name, but the assassin would be an inquisitor type. He does all his searching on his own. He kind of has free reign to do what he wants.
He doesn't have a team. It's just him.
I mean, I'm sure he does, but he is the leader of that team if he has one.
And all of them are local.
Yeah, you'll find everyone from the Rania Richmond city. If they leave, it's very rare.
Okay.
How powerful is it seems like a lot of the chain are here in this city. Is this like the heart of
Believe it
chain?
or not, most of the chain is in Drabar.
Well, the curator you said is here and Oshi is here. So that's 2 of the 4.
Yeah, again, I don't know if there's another one somewhere else, maybe in Drabar. But I don't know what makes LaBelle more special other than we have a lot of income via trade.
I'm gonna whisper to the Dawn. Ryan, you there?
I'm here.
And Wink. And I'm gonna ask you guys, should we mention the dragon under the city if she knows anything?
I don't think that'd be a problem.
I mean, it's like a rumor that everyone knows, right? It's not like it's a secret.
Okay, I'll ask her then. Have you heard of this dragon under the city, and is there any truth to it?
Can you roll a persuasion check?
Of course.
I'm looking at her intensely.
We'll see how far of knowledge you unlock.
Not too bad. 16.
Okay. She will say that she does not believe that there's any sort of dragon. If you're referring to the labyrinth under La Ragna Rich, it has been heavily rumored that there definitely is something that leads down. She's unsure if it just goes to the world below or if it is indeed something else. But it hasn't been like enough of a thing to make her take action on it.
Do you guys have any, is it mapped?
No.
If you were us, where else would you get information on Oshi? Are we able to infiltrate her group at all? Do you know? She knows who we are.
As far as where to start, follow her, maybe see where she goes. Let's see. You could maybe start with the quartermaster, maybe just talking to him or trying to get information as far as like how they interact with her or what her duties are. I will also say, like, out of you guys do know that she visits the fortune teller often, so maybe you can look into that.
Yes, unfortunately, she has information on us from the fortune teller. How close are they?
Yeah, that guy's a blabbermouth.
She will say that if you mention the fortune teller, she'll say yes. Many people visit the fortune teller to try to get information. It would make sense that she would visit the fortune teller since she's always looking for magic items and she's known to be impatient. She might go there for advice.
But the
Oh,
fortune teller
shoot.
told her about us.
Well, I'm gonna look at you, Enzo, and say, yeah, she's interested in magical items. Ring a bell?
Uh-oh.
And I'm just gonna hang my head and shake it.
That's a very good point.
Well, you guys were
Does
successful.
the lady in masks know about the sword?
No.
She has no. She hasn't revealed that she knows anything, if it at all. She will say that
No drool said anything to her.
if she did, she has not revealed it. She will then say, Bugbear, you did mention that you wanted me to mention you to those of my order if you guys were successful. Is that still something you would like me to do?
That's a good question.
Some of our order are some of the Knights of the Nine Stars, as well as other very successful warriors and merchants and things throughout the continent. So may come in handy, but it also paints a limelight on you.
I will speak up and look at you, Thadon, and say, if you don't want to take that step, I will.
Oh, there's so much heat on us already. I'm not sure.
Well, I think we can get information and possibly help if we need it, if we have more access.
It just
Okay.
provides more doors to potentially knock on. Not that they are all open to you at this moment, or that they are watching you. So it's
I
up to you.
agree. I think it would
It
be
also
good to have connections.
could be more jobs for us in the future.
Oh, also, Elf, you did mention that you had some sort of
Rum,
that you wanted me to help you with.
only the most wonderful and most precious rum from the Feywild.
Do you want?
Something that no one has ever laid their hands or their tongue upon in many an eon. In fact, I think this might be the first, with the first time it has graced the paths of Labelle. I'm curious if you would go ahead and unshrink it for us, if you know who would be a good proprietor for us to sell this off to.
She'll unshrink it for you. So it turns into a half keg. And it's a full keg, but it's only half full, as what was promised, I'm pretty sure. As far as who to sell it to, she does not know. You could try asking Devil's Taste if they would buy it or what they would do with it. You could also run your rich.
I would know quality. When I tasted it, what's the quality of it?
It was great. It was amazing.
Like something I've never had that
Yes.
like okay.
It's hard to say if it's like pristine because it's so foreign in a way that it's like hard to determine value. But yeah, it's very exotic and really good tasting. So
Would I know, being working at Lorana Rich, that if there's high rollers that might be interested in something unique like that?
definitely would be high rollers buying the new and most innovative drinks.
Maybe I'll look at Wink and say maybe we could find a bottler and we could sell it as a one and done specialty item.
Maybe we can save it as a gift to someone.
Well, there'd be a lot of gifts. It's a lot of bottles. A half a
mean-
barrel is probably 200 to 300 bottles.
It's quite a bit. Substantial amount. I say that's a great point. I say we bottle a good portion, maybe not quite all of it. That seems to be excessive for us to be carrying around with us on our trips. But bottle some of it, keep it with us, use it as a trade or a selling point, and sell the rest off. And I think the Devil's Taste might be interested. I also think, what was that first one you suggested, DM?
Devil's Taste, Laranya Rich. The Devil's Taste is
Laranya
where you're staying. Woe is the proprietor, so you could ask Woe.
Certainly. I think that would be, yeah, my first choice, because it is a fancy place, a
Awesome.
place where they might appreciate this.
Is that a busy place? How many other people stay there?
At the Devil's Taste.
Yeah.
And they have a side restaurant that's not is high end, so it's not that busy. But Woe likes to cater to the flamboyants and those who have the coin. So it's a smaller clientele.
I just don't remember us meeting anybody or running into any other people staying there.
Correct. He is very hush hush about who stays there. So
Yeah, I think it's a good spot. It's a specialty item for sure, meant for special people who require elegant tastes.
So about meeting other people, Is there like a group I could sign up for or a meeting I could come to? Maybe Wink would like to join me.
No, that's all. I will give them your names, and if they wish to speak with you, they will reach out. That's how that would work.
Okay. Oh, one more thing. I have a friend that you might want to meet. She works for the Ravens. She's looking into the same things you are. So if you're open to that, or maybe someone that you work with would like to meet her to do background or
What is her
whatever
name?
on her. Luna?
Her name?
Luna.
Luna. I will pass the name on and see if they would like to reach her. But yeah, that's all I had for you guys. Thank you for delivering the Black Iron Pact. This will save hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. And we will begin mass producing this to be distributed.
Well, we appreciate it. In the meantime, what do you think why we're doing the homework for our next endeavor? If we have any dead time, what do you think the best option is for us? To go to the bounty board or anything else? Any other side projects?
Oh, I won't begin to tell you how you guys should run your little organization. But
Where do you think the zoo might be hidden or a good place to start?
probably in this district, in Latende districts, as there seems to be the most amount of abandoned zoos in this area. Keep in mind that it will take a long time to comb through, but it might be faster to try to get information elsewhere first before trying to locate the hideouts.
Are
What do you mean?
abandoned zoos like a thing that seems like would be something that's abnormal?
It's not that uncommon. The farther out you go, people try to be daring and create a getaway type zoo in the wilderness, but then they're taken over by creatures of violence, so they are abandoned. Some are hundreds of years old.
What's a
So it's-
getaway zoo?
Carnivals, zoos,
Oh, like something more
building,
exotic that's not in the city.
lots of things. Yeah. So, anyways, if there is anything else, I'm gonna hit the hay.
Gratitude.
Been a pleasure as always.
One last question. Sorry to keep you. What do you think about Claude and Nile?
Claude is an interesting fellow. Or sorry, Niall is an interesting fellow. Claude is always very pampered.
That he is. Are they trustworthy?
He seems like a straight shooter, although he is unstable.
Do you know why he was or any way to get him back into the school as a teacher?
I don't see that ever happening.
Ah, all right. I didn't either. Well, thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.
One more question. I saw you having a conversation with the author. I'm trying to find her name.
Uh-huh. Yes.
The
Katarina. Do you know her well?
I don't. I meet and greet, it was all.
Yes, it was my first time meeting her as well. I was
Okay.
just hoping to bump
Nope.
into her again.
Sorry. She's trying to get you guys to leave.
well, see you later.
Bye. See you later. She
All
got
right.
shit out of her tower. You guys leave. Yeah, it's out. It's nighttime. It's late. What would you like to
It's
do?
a fun day.
I posted the
Um,
gift bags that you guys were given that Waldo grabbed.
Oh
I
yeah,
love that. So freaking great, Well,
that's so great.
Yeah.
How many of those did you grab, Waldo?
Grabbed
Hold
enough.
on.
You
I've
grabbed
got
enough
as
for each
many
of
as
you.
my hands could fit. Here you go.
Yep, so you each got one.
64 bags, I think.
That's so great.
That's so funny. That's so freaking great. What time it's pretty late, you said?
It's late. It's bedtime. Yep.
Yeah. Just on
What's going on in the city when we walk to the street?
It's party time. Everyone's partying. As always.
I want to pay some bards to sing our song. And if anyone's singing it, I'd like to tip them.
The
Oh,
best
yeah.
bards too. We want the ones that are the busiest.
Okay.
Or if there's any bars that are hopping, we could sneak in and whisper in their ear, "Hey, play. What's the name of the song?"
They don't know the song that you're talking about. It seems to not have taken as popular since it was just like requested and no one actually knows who you are.
Oh,
He must be a new bard.
But yeah, if you pay them, they'll play songs for you and sing about your appearances and how mighty and regal you are.
no. We want to be anonymous.
We want a negative one. What's the negative one about the other group?
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Give them the name and
Yeah.
think
Just
about
sing
the
a song
culture.
about these guys being a-holes.
Osho. So you guys make it back to the Devil's Taste. Anything you want to talk to Woe about before you go to bed for the night?
Oh, I forgot to ask her that. Dang it. Ugh. Oh well. I knew there was one thing I was missing when she was
I'm gonna
rushing
walk
us out.
in, and the first thing I say to Woe, and I say, "Did you know it's pronounced success? Who knew?" And just walk past him.
He looks at you bewildered, like, what? What are you talking about?
What
No.
what hand is missing on Woe?
His right hand, so he only has his
I'll hold
left.
out my right hand to shake his hand. Oh, sorry.
Give him a gift bag.
Here you go.
No, don't give him. Then they'll know we were there.
It's too late. He gave him the gift bag.
Oh,
He sticks it under the counter. It goes away.
Don't tell anyone you got.
I'm
that.
gonna poke my head into his bar, tavern, restaurant thing and see what's going on in there.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet. It's quaint. It's very high-end looking. There's lots of red and black colors about. Leather seats everywhere. There's a bartender. It's very well dressed and one barmaid. So it's pretty small, but enough to like maybe handle like 20 people.
Is it busy in there or is it
No,
dead?
there's like 4 or 5 people in there, maybe.
Is it late for it to be busy or is it just not very busy ever?
It's later.
depends on that part of town. You go to the brothel street.
It's later to be busy, so you're
Okay.
getting to the end closing time. It's like 11 p.m. at this point.
I'm gonna ask Woo. Hey Woo, looks kind of slow in there. Is this normal or is it just after hours for your?
It's
For your
Woe
rush.
Kid. It's Woe Kid. You keep calling me Woo, and it's really getting under my skin. But it's always
Sorry.
this time of night. Go get some rest and maybe come out and get a drink in the morning.
I have something very special for you, Woe. How would you like to taste something truly remarkable? Not even from this realm. We curated this rum from the Feywild, and we were curious if you have an interest in selling it here. But first, just have a sample. See what you think.
All right. So you pour him a small mug, and he drinks it, and he thinks it's delicious and would love to buy some. We're talking Quan. Let's talk about it in the morning, as far as like the amount and the cost. And we'll see
Fair enough.
work something out.
Sounds good. All right, I'll chat with you in the morning.
Cool beans. Anything else anyone wanted to say or do before you guys turn it in for the night.
I
I'm
definitely would
gonna
like to
go
talk
up to
the
Wink
group.
and start talking business. But we can do that whispering to each other. We have to do it in front of everybody.
My
Yes, let's
question's
go
much
up to the group.
related to what we're gonna do next. And what everyone thinks about what we learned tonight.
Who do you want to do that now or in the morning when we wake up?
Let's do it in the morning.
I guess we're doing it in the morning.
Wink, wink.
I want to just make sure. I want to take a peek underneath the bed without anybody noticing, because I'm super confident it's still there. But I just want to make sure that my goods are still there.
Yeah. Roll a stealth check.
Okay. Yes. That is a 20 non-natural.
You pray your prayer to whatever god you're worshiping today, and to use that as your excuse to take a peek. And everything is there as you left it. Nothing seems disturbed.
Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. I think he's a pretty dark god at the moment. I can't really.
Here's your good berry. Here you go.
Where did this come from?
Waldo's passing out good berries.
I do it every
Goes to
night. Before we go to bed.
Oh, that's
Appreciate
right.
that, Waldo. Thank you. And
Such
thanks for
kind
the
soul.
bags. It was very thoughtful of you to think of us.
Oh, I knew you'd like it.
Well, off to bed. I set up my alarm trap by the door.
I take a nice shower before I go to bed.
Hop in your
Since I
bathtub.
don't feel like bathing again or charging for the bath, but
I take a European shower and I just get a towel wet and wipe my body down.
All
it's
right.
because Wink is in the shower for like 2 hours and you just don't get a chance to shower tonight.
He just dumps
I'm
his
just-
towel in the bathtub because you're taking forever.
I'm just spending such extra time on my hair because I was so impressed today. I was like, wow, Ethan's hair. What a look. I must replicate that look.
I take the vase, the new vase that I procured, out of my bag of holding, and I put it under the bed as well.
Okay. Yep. Doable.
Like a squirrel with Steve Stash.
Yeah. Storing his nuts for wintertime.
Oh my gosh.
But
So
the
true.
problem is like when he needs money, he doesn't take from his stash. He gets like something totally
He
separate.
steals new money.
I'm gonna grab my scroll of silence and embarrassingly ask the Don if he would like it. I completely forgot I had it, and I'm embarrassed. It almost cost us tonight. Maybe you would do better with it.
Oh wow. If you want, that's I bought one of these in the other town for that job. I know they're not cheap. If you think it would be better spent with me, I will accept it, but
Yes, I bought it for the job, and I blew it. I meant to give it either to you or Wink and forgot about it, and I'm embarrassed. It almost cost us.
all right. I will keep it safe and ready for when we need it.
All right. So you guys.
Oh yeah.
anything else?
Sorry. Well, no, I
Or,
can do it in the morning.
Okay. Awesome. So you guys all go to sleep. Take a long rest. Wake up in the morning. No events happen.
Fresh.
Get your long rest. Breakfast downstairs if you're hungry.
Let's eat.
I'm there.
And as we're going, I'm animated and excited to talk business with Wink about our endeavor.
Oh, me too. I love to talk business. Let's get down to what we want to make from this delicious brew.
I was dreaming about it, and I got this great idea.
Yes.
What do you for the name?
Ah. Yes, a name. That is good. Good thinking. It needs to have a title. Something that is memorable.
Well, I was thinking something that's memorable, at least to me, because it kind of kicked all this off, is Ida.
Yes. It's a quaint, soft, and kind name. Ida. Yes, I think it is nice. I think
It's either
Ida's
Ida, in my opinion, either Ida or La Raza.
La Raza is very nice
Or
too.
sorry, La Sara. La Sara.
Lysara. Yes. Oh, yes. What a beautiful name. I miss her.
I look up from my plate. Yeah, that's my vote.
Which one do
Which
you like?
one?
Lazara. My mom.
We got lots of.
Lysara's luxurious libation. Ah, yes, of course. I think Lysara, that does have a wonderful name to it, and it is enchanting. It is otherworldly. I think that fits well.
And it's named after our godmother.
Exactly. Is she all of our godmother or just for the two brothers?
I don't know. I just assume she's our godmother now because she was so nice and kind and open to our helpful to us.
I like that. Yes. Perfect. I think that's wonderful. Lysara's libation. It's a hit.
All right.
Let's see.
You approach him to discuss price and everything.
Yes.
Well, first we have to find a bottler, see what the cost is going to be, and then we should find out what the would I know what the high end cost in this city is for a bottle that's like very unique, like a
You know
like
how
a
much
bottle.
bottles cost at Livonia Rich? They vary from like the cheap ones, like a gold piece for like a whole bottle, all the way to like 500 gold pieces.
But what about like a bottle that's like a very specialty blend? Like a very top shelf specialty like
I got it. Again, it'd be like 500 gold pieces for like the nicest type of.
okay. Waldo, why are you making faces at us?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I saw a kid out the window.
How was your night, Waldo? Did you sleep okay?
Yep.
All right. So if you're looking for the bottler, are you want to do that now? I don't want to spend too much time on this.
Yeah,
Let's just-
we could
Let's
do
check
this
with
on
Woe
the side.
first.
It doesn't have to be a. I could let him know that high-end bottles get about 500 gold pieces. So that might be our best option, and see how many bottles we can get out of it. What's the estimation, do you think?
What was that?
How many bottles we can get out of what's left?
So like half a keg is like 59 liters.
We said it's a barrel. The barrel's much
Half
bigger.
a barrel.
Okay, half a barrel. I don't know how much. I don't know. I don't know if it's like it necessarily matters.
Well, if they're
Yeah.
like 50 or is there 500? Like,
If we go with a keg, a half a keg is 15 gallons or 124 pints.
but a barrel's like the big is much bigger than a keg.
If we go with a barrel, those are 55 gallons. Big 55-gallon drums. I use those all the time.
25 gallons. So you have 25 gallons.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, 25 gallons is
I don't know how much you can fit in a bottle can because every bottle is a different size. So it depends on like how
Yeah,
much.
there's
And like,
they
does it
range
really
from
matter?
like
That's the
1.5 liters or like the ones with the handles on them all the way down to like 1.5 ounces. It depends on what
I don't
you're.
want to spend too much time on this because I don't think it necessarily matters that much.
Well,
as
it
far-
could be a lot of money for our group. So
So if you want, are
Yeah.
you wanting to talk to Woe or are you trying to go outside of Woe? Because you mentioned to Woe he can buy it, but now you're trying to go to a
yeah,
bottle.
but we need to find a bottler first. We can ask them. So what do you think? How much is it worth? Or it could be a side thing. Like you don't have to spend much time on it. So
yeah. And if Woe has bottles, if he's a proprietor of wines and things, he might have some bottles too.
Woe would say
well,
that he
no, we
won't
need a
buy it.
bottler like to get it professionally sealed and look.
Woe says that he has a winery and people that he worked with, and
Yeah.
that helps supply the Devil's Taste, as well as like his homebrew stuff that he has. So easily doable. He's
Yeah.
very cheap and he does very good work. So
And how much is he willing to pay for a bottle?
how much is Woe willing to pay?
Yeah.
15 gold.
He says 100 gold pieces a bottle.
Oh yeah. Gorgeous. All right. So if
we
we
should
go with
sell them in
liters,
smaller amounts if they're willing to pay 100 gold pieces. So yeah, we can do it.
Means
Sell them as a like a drink that you like just a shot that you sip on or put on ice.
yeah, we're good.
go ahead and roll persuasion check with advantage. Just we'll see like how much gold pieces you get for the
Okay.
lot for everything, and you'll also get like, since you're having bottles made with your own product, you obviously like get to keep some of it.
25.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. Okay. Good work. I'm bringing you with me when I go on trading routes.
I got a +7 on persuasion. I rolled a 18.
Yeah, we'll
So
do.
you have about 10,000 gold pieces worth of product when it's all packaged. However, it's going to cost like 500 gold pieces to get it up and going, like everything basically. So you have like basically 9,500 gold pieces.
If we sell out. So
Correct. So Woe tells you I can buy it, like that 100 gold pieces is what I would sell it for. So he like if he's buying it from you, he obviously wouldn't pay 100 gold pieces per bottle. He'd pay slightly lower. What he's also willing to do is like he'll sell it to you free of charge, and then he'll keep like a percentage of the profits, and then he'll give you everything else. So you have potential to make more. It just won't be as quick.
What
So those-
about selling it to others? Like if I want to sell it to the casino.
You can sell it to whoever you want. You just ask what would Woe pay for it. You're more than welcome to go walking around town asking every bar.
Yeah, I just don't want to spend too much time on it. So I'm just asking you what you think is what you're comfortable with.
So I'm giving you a solution. If you like this solution, great. If you want to keep going, walking around asking people, that is up to you. It's just going to take more time.
yeah, let's do that. Let's go with going through him, and has basically 100 gold per bottle if they're liter bottles. So I say we keep 5 to 10, depending on how much you guys want and sell the 90 and get a big profit off that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Is everybody else okay with that?
I mean, it's your
Yeah,
guys'
dude.
money.
Your thing. So
No, it's
Yeah, it's your
our,
thing.
it's group money though.
yeah, but again, we don't want to make it more complicated than it needs.
Yeah, I know. I just want to make sure everybody's okay with us selling it.
Okay, so let me just give you a number as far as like what you'll get right now. That way it can just be done. So you'll get
Yeah,
about 7,000 gold pieces. And you have about 6 bottles that you guys get to keep.
Rock on.
So that's what
That's
you have.
good profit.
So mark it down, disperse it however you want.
Yeah, evenly around as far as I'm concerned.
Same. It goes to the team.
If there's that leaves 1,000 left, right?
That can go into our pot.
Yeah, it'll go into
Or
the house pot where if we need it for emergencies or someone's out of money, we can give it to them.
Yeah.
Or we can use that.
I will add 1,000 to Olivax's thing. All right, Fidon, you wanted to speak to people about what to do next.
How much do we get each?
1,000.
1,000.
1,000.
Oh, leave us.
Ah, well, it was worth carrying around. My
You're
friends,
so
I feel
smart.
inspired.
Well, we learned a lot of information last night. We've had a night to sleep on it. What do you guys think about the situation that we're in? I feel like, even though we got a lot, I don't know. It just feels like we're just pawns in a much bigger game, and I don't like it, personally.
I kind of look at it as we're just new players to the game, and so we just need to figure that out.
Well, I mean, what I'm seeing is our target, and she is closer than ever. I think she is very attainable. We can take her out and collect on our grand bounty. We need not get ourselves too wrapped up in the chain, in everything going on. There's a lot we could invest ourselves in, but I think if we focus on our main plot and take care of business, I think we are scoring big.
This rubs me in the wrong way. We'll be eliminating with this person, creating a power vacuum. I mean, they said that this was to stop whatever chaos or to help the chaos that's going to form in the future, but are we replacing them with one of their people? Is it just whoever? Like, what if we're replacing them with someone worse? What if we can make deals with them? Like I don't know. I just don't a lot of variables for me. And not in character. Maybe this is me thinking far too deeply into it, trying to make it more than what it's supposed to be. I will admit that is possible.
I do agree that there is potential for someone else to take up the summoning that she is attempting. It does give me a little bit of anxiety to consider that someone is messing with forces that once more are far beyond our natural existence. It seems as though she is wrapped up in some truly demonic arts. So if there comes an opportunity for us to destroy or otherwise take apart her summoning, I think that would be wise for the sake of humanity. Although it would be nice if we were hired for such a thing. You know, seems above our pay grade. That's for sure.
I mean, we kind of are. We're supposed to eliminate one of them. Doesn't matter which one, and we'll get that keep. So we are
I
already
vote
hired.
for Oshi if we're picking someone. She knows about us. She has information on us, and I get the vibe that we need to get rid of her. She's bad in some way.
Oh, I agree. They're all bad, and it's weird that an organization that seems to be mostly good is run by such terrible people, but the organization's good. I don't know how their trickle-down economics work, but I'm very much intrigued.
Well, you could
But-
have evil people at the top and they can say all the right things to the people at the trained people at the bottom to act like they're good, or not act like, I mean, hire good people so on the face they seem like a positive influence.
And it's just so
But
risky. Never mind, never mind. We're getting too much into politics. I don't want to get into politics of it. I don't think that's the point. But I do agree that Oshi is a bad egg, and anything involving the lower planes is something we must stop, just for the sake of everyone. But I will say, if that is where we want to throw in our hat at first, Kermit is still very much a concern of mine, considering he is apparently the most powerful and influential of them all, and he has sworn vengeance upon us. I don't think that can be or should be overlooked.
Hermit? You mean the curator?
The Curator. Kermit, the Curator, it rhymes. It's the same thing.
Okay.
I
thought you
like
said
that
hermit.
name. It was one of my favorite kids books. Kid stories.
And if he's a fiend too, as they suspect, he's potentially tied in with this other fiend stuff that Oshi is doing, assuming that it is her doing it. Do we know
Well-
that she's the one actually doing it, or just that the chain is doing it, or someone in the chain is doing it?
We just
Lady
know
Mass said it would make sense that she would be the one doing it because of her fascination with animals and something else.
yeah, we know that that house
Magic
is the
items.
hunters.
She's
Yeah, she does like to collect the magic items. I
she
definitely
seems like they're if they
remember
need to get something that she gets it for them.
I also think you're all potentially overhyping how much she knows about us, because if she did know stuff about us, she would have been there to stop us last night, which she really didn't. She was just kind of there. So whatever she may knows, I don't think it's as much as we suspect.
Is it
Oh,
worth
she
putting
really-
the fortune teller on the list of someone we need to talk to? Because if
I
they're
never
spilling
want to
secrets-
be in that thing's presence ever again.
Really? It was exciting.
That it was.
I mean, you're all complaining about what this lady may have told our enemy, and you want to go see her again.
Do you think he could be my mentor?
The fortune teller?
I'll ask him. I think it's a good.
Which number mentor does this make this one?
Doesn't matter. You can never have enough.
That is so false that you can't learn anything from any of them if you have 1,000.
I have learned plenty.
What have you learned from the last one you made?
We don't have enough time to discuss it. Let's keep going.
That's what I thought. Check your book about how much you've learned. That's what I thought.
Anyway,
I agree. Whoever's in charge of this demon thing, if that is Oshi, that's probably the first one, considering they're close to whatever it is they're doing. But we should keep Kermit and very much trying to get information or ways to screw over or get information to use against him in the back
Oh,
of our minds.
What's our list? Let's make a list of priorities and figure it out.
Labyrinth. Priority 1.
Yes, finding her secret hideout.
That's the zoo, right?
Yeah, that's the zoo.
All right. So we'll put her on the top of the list and dash zoo.
Let's just do a just do a list
And
and then we'll
then-
remember it afterwards.
All the things coming off of her, like I'll put her on like a murder board and put her on the top, little lines down. We got zoo, we got the little dark animal beings that she's trying to get.
Rock.
Brock.
Yes.
Why
Is that
didn't
the
we
only
ask
animal
Lady of
left on
Mass-
that list?
Why didn't we ask the Lady of Mass to find the rock for us? We're stupid. That's why.
I also think it'll be hard to figure out where we can find where they're doing it. It'd be very obvious if only 2 people are looking for rocks that we know something.
Well, if we are told from the Lady of Mass. We don't have to go searching for it, really. I mean, I don't know what information she'd give us.
It's just more how to track our quarry more than anything to figure out where they're going to be.
Hey, Waldo, would you be able to, about the zoo, would you be able to talk to animals or anything and see if they might know where this place is?
Of course. Do you know who I am?
Yeah, I've met you before.
Yeah. I talk to everything.
Yeah, if you could,
When we met him, he was speaking, I believe, to a rock or a bush. So can
Yeah.
confirm.
we could go out into the forest and walk around, and you could meet some new friends and see if they know where this place is.
That's a good idea.
I've posted a list of things you guys have said. This is what we want to do.
My mind goes to the first time we went to the fortune teller and we asked them, where should we start with the mission that we've come here to do? And he pointed downwards.
Yes, it is.
I don't know what that means. It could be the labyrinth. It could be the
Brother, why do
city
you
beneath.
why do you trust this being? Why do you trust this fiendish being to
First
be a
of
force
all,
of help?
he looks super cool. So
Wow.
that's one huge reason. Two, he knows things.
What did he know?
He knows everything. So maybe you
Give me
shouldn't say bad things about him.
give me a thing of proof that says that they know things.
Once a year, he gives presents to the young, I think. So
I
he knows what you're
wha-
saying. And I'm not going to say anything bad about him. All I know is I can feel it in my bones. This guy knows if you've been naughty or nice. And
feel it in your bones.
yeah, it's an artificer thing. I think it's one of my abilities. I don't know.
I mean, I can't speak to that, but if they just know you're naughty or nice, how do they know the future?
I mean, how? Because they don't. You're making things too complicated. All I'm
Right.
saying is he's a good guy.
Then one of you say he was a fiend and he's a good guy.
Yeah, they are misunderstood sometimes. He's just here trying to do good things. Anyway, I would be interested in going to talk to him again and maybe getting his phone number.
Okay. How much
I'm gonna
time?
reach out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask, how much time do you guys want to dedicate to getting the answers to these things?
Well, that's up to you, right?
It could take like the longer you look into these things, the more detailed answers I'll give you. So like I would say like max for some of these things, it would take you 2 weeks, so 20 days to find some of these things.
For each of them, or can we like compile them?
So some of them will take longer, like finding the zoo place would take potentially longer than even 20 days, depending on what information you gather from other places.
Yeah, I would say finding Oshi and this rock they're looking for, or tracking them to figure out if they find one, would be pretty high up there. And we can tell your little girlfriend, Enzo. I shouldn't say little girlfriend, your wonderful girlfriend. That was very rude of me. I apologize. Your wonderful girlfriend. And maybe she can send her newsies to go find everything or help us find stuff.
Yeah, they might have information. That's what I was gonna say. Is I want to talk to her, kind of let her know some of the stuff that we learned, and see if she has any information on what we're looking for.
Okay. All right. All right.
I have something I want to do tonight. I would like to take my cute little rat and stay up all night and change him into a different form. I want to change him into some sort of sleek, small looking bird. And I am going to tell him, find Oshi, fly up, find Oshi and follow her. And that's all I want you to do. Stay hidden. And that's it.
What happens if one of these things dies?
I have to find another gym and create it.
Okay. All right.
But if I can find the body, I can mend it back together.
Okay. You would know that tasking the bird to follow it, it's going to be literal. So if it goes into a building, it will go inside. So you might need to be like follow where it goes and hover over the building it's in, or something
I will
more.
say stay
Follow from a distance.
hidden.
Well, yeah,
follow
but
from a
like,
distance.
let's say you say follow from 20 feet. Well, what if it goes inside of a building that's longer than 20 feet? Well, it's going to go inside a building.
Don't follow it
Okay.
into any buildings. Her into any buildings.
What's
Stay
I think it's like simple commands. I am
stay
pretty
at
sure.
the furthest distance possible to be able to follow her. And report back to me in
So they have a telepathic bond.
1 week.
You can talk to it on the same plane of existence.
Okay.
It can magically convey what it senses to its master, and the two can communicate telepathically.
Sweet.
So it would be a bat, is what you would change it into.
Okay. I'm down to just like spend all my time following Oshi and finding more melons to fill my bag with.
Okay. Are you guys okay with me zooming 2 weeks in the future? Okay, I will do that. Here's what you learn. While looking into Oshi and the chain, in particular, like all of the chain as in the broad, and just like being in the city, as well as the zoo, the fortune teller, why the list of demons, the Vrock, why does she meet with the quartermaster, what does she do with the animals in the chain, like what's her duties, how is she involved with demons potentially, if at all. I will answer all of those questions now. That way you guys just have it, and then the next session will just start with infiltration and unveiling the secrets and stuff like that. So you learn a couple different things. You learn that animals from certain carnivals are going missing. You also hear of attacks in Latende district specifically, that animals are going like crazy and attacking people. And after these animals are killed, they're like being like, what's the word?
Dissected.
Yeah, and they're filled with drugs. Particularly the dust.
I got to say dust.
Another one called Drake Root is another one that they see, which you guys have not encountered Drake Root yet, but the dust you have. So those
Do
are
we
two.
ever find that guy like sucking on the blood of one of these animals? Like that one guy we gave to the police that he's just like now trying to like kill these animals like vampire style and just suck on their blood to get that sweet dust.
Luckily, it seems like yeah, once like these are found, like these are confiscated by the chain, and since they're the guards of the city.
What other drugs? Shiver, opium,
Drake Root is one of them.
what is it?
Drake Root.
Drake Root.
And then the other one is dust. I forgot what the other word. It's called dust, is what everyone calls it. There's an
Death,
actual.
star sugar.
Yes, star sugar.
Looks like chocolate powder.
Yes. Okay.
Take notes.
So that's what you learn. But yeah, the animals seem to be tied to Oshi in some way or another. You also learn that she like takes care of not just like basic animals for the chain, like the horses and stuff like that, and she has people that work for her, but she never interacts with them. She works with more of like the exotic animals. You hear rumors like that maybe she has like hellhounds potentially.
Oh no.
You also hear of rare magic items being stolen throughout the city. You witness a lot of people on drugs. You also see drug deals being made.
Is this a thing that's getting worse and worse?
No, nope.
Okay.
It's just ever present. Like no matter how much resources are put to stopping it, it's just always there. You guys do find like a small production place that makes these drugs. You also hear of slavers starting up more, like Jawbreaker Govok and his slavers are like more of a presence. Like arrests are being made that are separate from the city guards, and people who are found worshiping other gods are being taken.
How does Olivax react to all this?
He would obviously be appalled, and yeah, I will have
How
some.
is the populace in general reacting to all this stuff? Do they feel like the chain is just kind of just all talk and no real bite to them? Like,
It's more like the excuse of why it's not being fixed is like what you would expect people to say, like, oh, funding, or like we don't have the numbers in order to do this, or like, oh, our resources are, or they blame like the Duchess for not like certain laws can't be passed, or like, oh, they're not allowed to search certain people or take certain actions because of whatever. So, I mean, they seem like all of the chain members that you witness, they seem like decent people just trying to do their best, but they're either just not skilled enough, they're not efficient enough.
and they're kind of being set up to fail if their higher ups are like literally screwing them over.
It's like these decent people that are hired local are like, there's nothing they can do to stop this.
Okay, so quick stop there with this new information. Do we have any way to contact what's his face? Droll.
You could pay people to send messages. They have things in the city.
I thought we had a one time a week or one emergency thing.
You have an emergency thing with the dragon if the tooth ever gets taken from you. I don't know of anything else.
We don't have a scroll or anything that goes to him.
Nope. You guys asked him before. He said magically message me if you need anything.
We can have Wink go to the Lady of Masks and relay this stuff, and I'm sure she can reach out to him herself.
That's possible. But my question for the group, if we want to partake in this, do we want to try to start sowing discord in the chain? Because the mask lady and her group have mentioned that the chain is going to break. It's going to break into other chains. Do we want to try to make ourselves players in this game to increase our own power? Since a lot of these people are good and they don't know the higher ups are screwing them over, do we want to try to sow discord so that when this break does happen, they could potentially fall to our side, or we can even stage our own coup if we can get enough information to implicate them?
Yeah, I was thinking we could through my job I could find out who the
Are you
people
keeping
of
that
power
job,
are.
Enzo, by the way? Or are you going
Yes. No, I want to keep it because I want to learn who the power players are in the city. Like it's not always who's the face, but it's who actually makes the choices and stuff, to see if I can learn any of that stuff. And talking to Luna to see what I can learn as well.
Okay. All right. So as far as other things that you guys learned during these 2 weeks, you learned that there's being lots of kidnappings of children.
No.
This is more in Latende district where this is happening. People just brush it off, as well as like from the Undercity it's happening, and they're just like brushing it off, like, oh, like those Undercityers are like, oh, those poor people like just don't know how to manage their kids. And then other things that really prick keep your ears up are you hear rumors of people worshiping demons. You've heard of attacks by cultists, like demon worshippers. like people being sacrificed on like the city, like the middle of the street, and there's like a pentagram drawn around these people and their blood and stuff like that. You also see like animals sacrificed or like discarded in random places. You see like honorable people found dead in like on Lush Street or like caught doing evil deeds. So like the face of someone who's seen as like an Olivax type person or like a Dragonborn. You see like a Dragonborn like caught like hung naked like in Lush Street, basically like showing like, oh, these people aren't as good as you think they are.
Alright. So quick thing before we go any further. If this stuff is escalating to this level of people drawing actual pentagrams, I will again ask the group, do we want to try to get a coup going against the chain?
I mean, I'm okay with that. I think we should reach out and try in one way or another to try to find out and befriend the power players of the city, see if we can get in with the
Duchess. We've
yeah,
heard that the Duchess is not the biggest fan of the chain.
And
see if we can meet her, maybe
and then
do
Wink
a
also had
job
that
for
friend.
her, get it in with her, and so we could have
Lucius.
Yeah, Wink also made
Or-
that friend that may want to help, but
Lucius.
I'll also okay. So maybe just dabble, just see what strings we can pull. We don't have to do that tonight, Bo. That's something you can think of later.
Well, we can't do this ourselves. I mean, we can't do everything ourselves. Because
Well,
I've
I meant
got-
maybe
we have Luna has access to the Raven, which is a lot of people. And we could all get side jobs, or we're here for a long time. Like what'd you say? 2 weeks?
Been here for
we've been here for
30
about
days at this point. You've been here for 1 month.
yeah.
Okay, so this is 20 more days after.
Correct.
So we could all be. I mean, I'm already in with the lower chain people. I don't know if I can move my way up and meet people higher and become friends with them. But we could all do our part and become friends or infiltrate different groups and get information.
I am kind of friends with some of the guards. I would probably use that to try to find any reputable looking guards, and I could bring in Olivax for this too, since he likes honorable people, to try to find if any leader-like people are like just frustrated with their work and that wanting things to be able to be better, kind of thing.
It also goes with the nobles. We got Spencer, or sorry, Wink has an in with a few of the nobles. That he's kind of befriended a little bit. Maybe we can use our alcohol to like have a little, or he can, if the rest of us aren't part of it, drink with them and see what they say about what's going on in the city.
Okay.
You don't. At least I can't speak for everyone, but I would just say that's just something we're doing in the background. But
Yes,
the
totally
forefront
fine.
stuff you're talking about now is way more important than that.
Yeah, I want investigation from Theron and Waldo investigation check and Enzo investigation check. So Theron, Enzo, Waldo.
Okay.
Investigation, you said?
Correct. Yeah, this will be into your guys' little separate tasks that you had.
Yeah, I think I would like to spend a little more time looking for Lucian,
Lucian?
the head of
Lucius?
house guy. Lucius, yeah. I think
Natural 20. Bam.
Oh, well, I'm glad you rolled good because I rolled bad. I got an 8.
Okay.
Sorry, I cut you off, Spencer. I just
oh, you're
rolled a
good.
20,
Natural
got
20
excited.
deserved it.
Waldo, would you roll?
13.
13. Okay.
13.
So, Enzo, you don't as far as like the players from the Lanya Rich, you're too low in a position to really understand the hierarchy of Lanya Rich, and like you don't see any of these like higher up Ivory Jack type people while you're there. However, you do like notice, like you do befriend like some patrons that come in. Particularly, you're able to get like a permanent position, like dealing cards and drinks and stuff to like the higher end section where it's like high stakes. So you do know that Lucius is a frequent entry person, and that he is anti-chain, but he is pro like Laranya Rich. So he likes Laranya Rich and all that it offers, but he doesn't like the rest of the chain because you would assume of like the things that he's been hearing that's been going on with the lower district. He also mentions One Sided Die, which is the lower end casino, and all of the problems that are happening there.
Is it owned by the same
It's not.
by the chain as well?
It's not owned by the chain.
Okay. So he's anti-chain, pro fun at the casino.
Yeah, and you know that his position is like he oversees all of like the pleasure establishments. So he's really unhappy with the level of like professionalism at One Sided Die and a lot of the other businesses in that area. But he's overly happy with Laranya Rich and its success.
I would definitely pass all that on to Wink because they kind of had a rapport at the party, and hopefully he can use the alcohol to, meet with him and talk to him and stuff.
Waldo, you are able to scout out and just take like your nature walks as you do, and talking to birds and animals, and just really like having like a gathering of all your little animal friends as you like feed them and talk to them and just
Ace
like
Ventura.
exactly.
Alrighty then.
You are able to locate basically where she is in this 20-day span, like where an entrance to where a white half dragon goes, and how many moons they are there, and how long they've been there, and things like that. It's honestly pretty dang close to like the outskirts of town. Like it's not that far, maybe like a quarter mile. So it's pretty close. You're like surprised that no one's found it at this point. And I'll post some pictures of like what it looks like.
Is it well hidden or is it magical
Yeah,
around
it's
it?
well hidden, but it's like close, so it seems weird. Like if people were looking for it, like they would find it. But there's also, Waldo, like you see like abandoned carnivals where it's like the circle of the carnival is just like overgrown. You see like these towers that have been knocked over. Some are like different stones or like really, really old elvish writing on them and things like that. So you definitely like see the history of this place as you're exploring and finding fun animals to talk to. And then Wink, you are able to talk to the Kenku. What's their names? One moment, please. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. That's why.
Bird people.
Yeah, the
Kenku
Kenku
are bird people.
Grimholt, I think, is their name. They oversee education in the city, and they are also very unhappy with the chain. So two major houses that are really. You also know that the Aurelius family, they think that they could do better, is what they tell you. Like they can do better than what they're doing, and that they're sick of having to re-clean the same spots over and over, and it's filthy. So yeah, that is what you learn. Other things of note that happen. You do spot some of the Falcieri walking along.
No freaking way.
They finally made it here.
At the end of your time.
This is Waldo?
Everyone, you guys notice them as you guys are like these 2 weeks are like all of your resources is what you've been able to acquire and learn over this time. So other things of notes that are very important is for the recording, Olivax, not Bahamut. Olivax has a dream, which you will hear, even though he might not tell you this. He has a dream where he is walking through a lush garden. And in the middle of this garden, he sees this black smoke just like coming out of the ground. And as he approaches this black smoke, he sees like a big cauldron. And this cauldron is bubbling. And it starts oozing over the sides and destroying the beautiful garden and flowers that are all around it. And then he sees a silver dragon as he turns to the side and looks, and its booming voice as Bahamut speaks to Olivax and says, "These demon worshippers must be vanquished before they destroy this part of my garden." And that's the dream he has over these 2 weeks. Enzo, you also have a dream where you're walking on think of like Stranger Things, where it's like water on the ground, it's just black everywhere, and you're just walking and you see this big face of your patron with her white jet black hair, white pale face with the tattoo, and she gives you instructions to murder a woman who is a servant of her enemy. She says that this person serves her abductor, and if she is not killed, and she points as she becomes small and human like you, as she's a very beautiful human, she points and says, you will look in the mirror and you will be responsible for what happens if you don't do it. And you see the face of the person you're supposed to kill, who is just an older human, and she has a scar on her cheek right here as it fades to mist and black, and you wake up. During one of your dreams. But what will end is the Falchieri. So 2 weeks have passed. These are all the things you've learned. If you have questions for me in next session, we can review. But you've been able to deduce that demon worshippers are being rumored, and Oshi seems to be related somehow. And Waldo found the entry place to where Oshi's hideout is.
Oh, and children are missing.
Children, yeah, there's other things that are happening, but the things that stick out the most to you are these demon worshippers and animal sacrifices. It seems to all be related to demons in some fashion or another. And yeah, the only thing that you guys didn't do was visit the fortune teller, which we'll save for next session in case that still wants to go down.
I just want to be hanging out with Claude those 2 weeks.
Okay.
Ordering
You guys level up.
Oh,
Hey,
level
this is a big
5.
game.
Oh yeah.
Baby.
Level 5.
Yeah.
Level 5.
Spells now.
That's a big level. We
We get
get to
level
That's
three
a
spells
big
now.
level.
Winky.
Fireball.
Level 3.
I cast Fireball.
Okay, so I'm going to review one more time for everyone. So you found that Oshi is related to these demon worshippers. You know she's trying to summon something. Olivax has been given a dream that something demonic is beginning to boil. Enzo also has been told to kill someone, being instructed. Those are the leads you have at this time. And that's what we'll end the session with that. So a lot of things cooking.
You didn't happen
So,
to catch an
I
egg.
want like on maybe a couple of nights. I want to go out there at nighttime and walk and like look up at the moon.
If I would be allowed to, I'd want to go with you, Waldo, to try to get more a sense of like your deity or the ways you worship your deity
Oh,
or commune with her.
when you're lost in the night, the Weaver is there.
How do
Oh.
you ask her things? How does she speak to you?
I can feel her in my heart. And I think all the animals can too. Even the trees.
Interesting. I'll try to do like a little silent prayer to the Weaver as I'm just walking with Waldo in the quiet of the night.
I'd also, if possible, like to spend a lot of time with Luna, and hopefully I hear from Katarina. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Because I would love to give her some ideas and get some new books, and maybe we could be part of them.
Luna has basically the same information that you have on the Run Your Rich. She also is filling out her hierarchy way more thoroughly. So even though you guys kind of are shifting away from the curator, she is not. She also says that during these 2 weeks that she's going to take a break to find out who the patron is, as she's so close. She just wants to kind of like put Laranya Rich on the back burner for a couple days or maybe a week and just really find out who it is that we're following.
I want to let her know about my dream and see what she thinks. And I'll give her as much detail as I can remember about her looks and how she talked and what she said.
She gives caution to know if that's something that's like questions. How do you know if it's instruction or if it's just a dream? But
I will let her know. It's I got the same feeling as I did the previous times when she came to me. I'm pretty sure it's her.
She'll say, "Do what you must."
But I want to let her know about what she looked like, not and what she said about her having like a
Yep,
like
got
an
it.
enemy.
Tell her everything. Got it.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Anything else, guys?
If possible, I'd like to play again before 2 weeks, so we can get a day.